We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as... Two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming.
Internment resettlement specialist. This MOS plays an integral role in providing a uniform system of handling prisoners and detainees. First and always, these MPs are combat support soldiers trained to fight.
Welcome to Stop the Badges Weekly Nightly News. I'm Porter Vaughn. Alright, I'm Porter Vaughn, Stop the Badges Weekly Nightly News. Today's Sunday night, August 17th. Before the curfew, still is, and in Ferguson, Missouri, and already, well, by the time I get this uploaded, it'll be just after the curfew. But please share this, tell everybody about this, get the word out, because CNN, New York Times, everybody's falsely reporting on this, and I'm about to clear it up right now. Last night, Saturday, state of emergency went into effect, and the governor said there was a midnight to 5 a.m. curfew, nobody allowed on the streets. The major news was reporting right after midnight local time for Ferguson, Missouri, that it was a success. The streets were clear. Most of the people had gone home. Everything was cool. And then the next morning, they had reported a couple different things. One person was saying, I can't remember if it was Fox or CNN who said what, or the New York Times, but there was three different things that got thrown out there. One was that there was multiple guys in a barbecue store at one point, and then one of them had a handgun and he walked out into the street, and then at some point a cop car got shot at, and the guy with the gun got shot and he's in intensive care at the hospital. Somebody else was saying that there was just the one guy with the handgun, he was in the crowd, he shot at the police car, and then, he's in intensive care, there was a police shootout. And then the other one, the third one, was not even saying anything about the cop car getting shot, just that there was a man with a handgun and there was a shootout, and that's why the tear gas and the smoke grenades and the rubber bullets started getting launched after midnight, and only 7 people got arrested, and it was still a success. But none of that appears to be true, because since this morning, when all of that came out, also InfoWars, and they were reporting live on the scene and actually in with the protesters, and just after midnight there was still several people on the streets. I guess they had cleared it off before midnight and then kind of came out afterwards so that there wouldn't be like the police right there at midnight already ready to attack them, but they would have time to group together. So they came out, grouped together, and they were chanting, no justice, no curfew, and no justice, no peace, and were peacefully protesting, and they were just there defending their rights, their First Amendment rights, to peacefully assemble, protest in public, and not have a tyrant's curfew imposed upon them. So they were there after midnight, and then almost immediately after, the police started launching off the tear gas, the flashbangs, shooting rubber bullets, smoke gas, or smoke grenades, everything. And the InfoWars reporters actually had the footage of Jakari Jackson. He was so choked up by the gas he could barely even speak, but he was also running and trying to report and hold the camera and not get shot all at the same time, get away from the gas. And then since, this morning from the major news networks, we've also learned that they're no longer mentioning a police vehicle that's gotten shot. They're not showing any photos of a police vehicle that's gotten shot. They're not saying the police even shot anybody anymore, which they did say there was a police shootout before. Now they're just saying that somebody somehow got shot and wound up in the hospital. And currently at 9:30, like I said, not even the curfew has been imposed. They're already launching and raging another war against the citizens, launching off the gas canisters. CNN had some live footage. Put it up here on the screen. The reason he can't talk right now is not because he's, and you can't hear him, but he's going in and out. He's choking, and that's not the smoke gas or just smoke canisters. That's tear gas, and he even said it's tear gas. She's later gonna say that, because she'll cut him off in a second and then do her own thing. But as you can see, there's just police everywhere. There's just chaos. They're just shooting canisters. Here she goes.
He and his team needs to stay safe on the ground there. If they can get far enough away to call in to us safely without that gas mask,
there they go. There's more canisters just blindly launched into there. They can't even see where they're shooting them. And when they can see, they make sure and aim straight for the protester.
And you see chaos breaking out on the streets there of Ferguson, Missouri. This following a day.
And look, it's not like they're stressed. They're just hanging out. They're relaxing. They're just shooting grenades off. This is nothing fun to them. This is nothing more than a good time and an extra paycheck. They're getting overpay. They're getting, overtime, any kind of hazard pay they might qualify for, who knows. But they get to use all the cool gear they got left over from the Pentagon and the military. They get to bring out the Bobcat and the tanks and the riot suppression gear. They get to bring out the new tear gas canisters and just choke everyone.
Steve also told us that police fired tear gas towards the protesters, and some of the canisters landed in the midst of some of the reporter vehicles in the state.
And that again is just propaganda. They're not firing them at protesters to dissuade them because they're trying to loot. They're firing at protesters because they want to, and they've been firing at reporters all week, not by accident, but to make sure nobody records it. They dismantle the gear when the reporters leave, and they shoot the reporters until they abandon their gear. As you can see, the gas canisters are just being launched into the crowd. This was live at 9:30 local for Ferguson, Missouri, so that's 2 hours, 24 minutes, 9:36 before the curfew even goes into effect. And they're already out there attacking the citizens. And currently they're claiming, because Molotov cocktails are being thrown at us, but you don't see any of that. All you see is the police attacking anybody. It even says authorities say. This is the main reason why the main news networks cannot be trusted. Their facts are very few and far between. When they tell you there's a war going on in Ferguson, Missouri, that's all you know. Anything else they tell you about how the authorities are trying to restore order, that's obviously been proven a lie time and time again. They preemptively assault an entire crowd for the actions of a single bottle thrower. They claim false flag attacks on themselves to justify the actions of again assaulting the crowd. They here preemptively assault the crowd tonight and claim it's justified before the curfew's even gone into effect. And less than 24 hours after each time they say something, almost 12 hours, we've already figured out what actually happened. Because there's so many journalists in the area, so many people taking video footage, so many people telling the story and out there and standing up for their rights. And Ferguson, Missouri is finally, I'm not saying they weren't before, but now, as a town, they're standing up. And I hope that even after this ordeal, it won't just go back to how it was, that they will move continue the action to demilitarizing the police, something we need to take on nationwide. We need to start movements to demilitarize the police in every city, town, state, really just to return the power of the protection to the people, if not entirely, and take that authority out of the corporations, states, the interests of the powers that be in the government, and return it to citizens that it is supposed to be protecting. Alright, but stay tuned for more, but right now it's already war in Ferguson, Missouri. Spread the word, and be ready to help demilitarize our local area and your local area as well. Alright, thanks and have a great night.